Is going? And okay, welcome to another weekly webinar. And so most of you have been here before, and if you haven't, so sit back and you'll figure out the format as we go along. I'm going to present my analysis, and that's exactly what it is, my own private analysis. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell anything. Any trades you decide to take are at your own risk. Other than that, I will present to you what I believe to be some potential setups for this coming week. I will pause in between, assets to take questions, and that's about as simple as it gets. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start right away, and let me just get myself ready. Okay, good. Here we go. So first of all, a couple of things on the calendar this week. FOMC is on Wednesday, and pretty much expecting another rate hike. We're looking at just about 100%. Probability has been priced into the market. That being said, we're also coming up into Christmas time, so markets tend to like to rally their necks at the close time, and we're expecting new highs again at this point. We had a little blip last week and lasted about a day or two, and totally gone and retraced, and therefore we get this very nice looking dragonfly candle up here at the. Just move this out here. All right, we get this dragonfly candle on the weekly chart, and now, what should happen? Well, if we start trading below, it's always going to be an issue. I don't think it's really going to happen. Maybe, somewhere inside the channel, and then eventually we're going through the top again, so this level is not going to be the all-time high yet. We're still getting back there. We're about to come back into it here. You can see we had just a little blip, right? And we're started retracing already, and nothing. So this little doji here held us up on the daily chart, and we're looking for continuation, which means keep buying the dips for now. Okay, it's continuing to work, and there's no reason to stop. So as long as that keeps going, that's the trade. So any decent demand zone underneath us is an opportunity to buy. Let's take a look on the 60. Well, that's probably the next level after we get through this crap up here. Then you can look at this. Otherwise, this area is interesting. Down here, can make that a little bigger, maybe downside inside these wicks over here. And that's where we turned around last Friday with the little Flynn news. But and you could see that we chopped off that news wick and ended up inside the demand zone, and then we're rallying again. So that's gone. And, this will be decent once we get through this level over here, and then, new highs after that. So there isn't really much resistance. So that's it. Keep buying the dips. Okay. Take a look at the NASDAQ. Not as strong. Right? The NASDAQ actually has a lower high and lower low on the weekly chart. And it's got this also gravestone type candle, this dragonfly thing. So, it's got 2 red weeks in a row also. So, I believe it's going to end up shooting out of the top just like the rest of them. You could see we came right back to the supply zone, right, after we had this double bottom, and we do a full retracement of the move. That was the middle of our double bottom on the 240. We come all the way back, and we even peaked above, and therefore, we've taken out the supply here. So what's left really is just the all-time high. We're sort of back into the air, and I think we're going to get through the top of that also, even though the NASDAQ is weaker than the rest of them. Still not looking like something that we should be shorting yet, okay? And therefore, pullbacks into demand, are still going to work, okay? Let's look at the lower time frame there and see what we got. So on the NASDAQ, so here's our 60. We see we've cleared the wick. We sort of got a little test in the bottoms over here, and coming back into demand back now. So this is a little bit close. I would probably wait for something a little lower down. In this area of 6360, 6300, something around. Sorry, 6300. That's it. There is really nothing great here. Expect slow grind to the top. That's what I would say. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Continued strength. Okay, I'll do the Russell, and then I'll take questions on the indexes in general because they're all pretty much the same. So if you're a Russell trader, the Russell actually had a little bit of a sell-off this week and landed in the supply zone. and started to retrace out of it, right? And Friday was just a little inverted hammer over there. And you can see on the 240, the Russell has to capture this level. It does have potential to fall back a little bit over here. And there we go over there. We're looking for that. So let's take a look. Russell. There's the lower time frame demand. And that's really just about it. We had rollover this week on all the indexes, by the way, so I'm sure you guys have updated your charts. That's it. I mean, general comments about the indexes, buy a pullbacks in demand. I can't say more than that. Okay, it's still working. Continue to do it. If anyone has a question, I'll take it now. Cool. All right. Let's go look at the crude. The crude had a very interesting week. Okay. First off, on the weekly chart, we ended up slightly down. We had, let me zoom in a little bit here. Okay. All right, we had this breakout a couple of weeks back, and we get a pause here, right? And then the continuation, but we weren't able to close anywhere near the lows out here last week. We actually bounced back. And looking like we're about to retrace. We got a nice hammer candle over here, and my assessment, we're going up here. Okay, so we might have 1 or 2 days, maybe just in the beginning of the week, a little bit of banging around, clearing out some of these lower levels. But 62 is on the way, not 60. 62. We're going into this weekly thing. We're going through 60. You could see the last time we sort of paused around 59, 70 something was the high or something like that. And that's it. The next time we're going up into 60 beyond. Okay. So there is going to be some decent supply up there, but 62 is where we're looking for now. So longs into 62, that's the way to go for crude. Okay. Take a look on the daily chart, and you will see the following. All right, last week we were talking about this being the lower highs, and then the lows get broken, and we land in this demand zone. A crazy day that was, I think, Wednesday, but we just totally retraced that whole thing, right? And we hit the demand, we hit the supply, and we paused just a little bit. And I show you on the lower time frames that level looks like it's going to pop, and we'll just be making a new high pretty soon, up into this area. So a little pullback, and then boom. Okay. So we're looking for longs this week. Let's go see where they are. Someone has a question. I'll take it from you in a second. So let's say our lower time frame, and you'll see here we go. There's our 60 chart, and we should have this nice little trend line going on. And we've hit this supply right here, and we're just banging around over here. So, we're going to have this demand underneath us on the way it looks like as we get through this up here, and that should really just get this blasted out. 58, maybe we have a little pause, and this is what I'm saying. We might have a day or two of chopping out of this area. We need to clean out, some of this crap over here, and that's it. After that's done, so we get some of this, like this type of thing, and then boom, we're going right up through the top into 60 plus. Okay, so I would say that this week I'm looking for above 60, closer to 62, 61.50, somewhere in that range is where the target for crude this week is, and therefore pull back into demand. Okay, look for that. Malik has a question. Go ahead, man.
Hey Joe, how are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
Two questions that are not related to crude. I just wanted to get your opinion. Bitcoin is going to start trading on the CME. Is it something that you're going to start following or not?
I will not be trading it. If you want me to follow it and comment on it, I don't mind doing that. But I highly doubt any of you will be able to probably make trades on it. I'm not sure what the margins are going to be yet, but you can be damn sure they're going to be freaking very high. When margins are based on volatility, things that are volatile like Bitcoin, there's moving $1,000 an hour, you can expect to have super huge margins. Yeah, so I don't know what the number is yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be something that most people are not going to be able to trade. But if you would like me to cover it, I don't mind. No big deal.
Okay.
That's my answer.
And the second question is related to. Sorry, I'm going back to the indices. Um, I agree with you, about keeping on buying the dip. What are you looking for at the top? Like, are you waiting for a fundamental event, or are you just going to look for?
When you're saying when will I start saying it's time to get short? That's what I think you're saying.
Exactly. Are you going to wait for your typical higher low pattern, or?
Absolutely, yes. That's what I'm looking for, because once we're up there, there's no way to know where the top is until it shows me. And the way it'll show me is when it makes a lower high. So until I see like a higher time frame lower high, something like a 240 or a daily lower high,
that was my question. Which time frame?
I cannot call a top. Yeah, that has to be something up there. Okay.
So you'd be looking for that on the 240 or the daily, not lower.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
Thanks.
Okay. No problem. All right, there we go. Let's continue. All right, so let's go back to the crude. Anyone have a question on crude? Pretty simple. Buy the dip until look for 62s. That's what crude is at. Okay. I want to cover the dollar for a minute, so it's going to affect some of our currencies, obviously, and our gold assets. So take a look at the dollar on the weekly chart. First of all, we've gotten a failed hammer attempt, right, which is usually very, very bullish, right? We're getting a nice reversal pattern, right? ERC, and then the pause and the ERC in the opposite color. This is a failed hammer, right? We had an inverted hammer here that we tried to break below, which has been totally retraced, and you can see where we closed it, which means now we actually created a higher low. And therefore, we will make a higher high. We should get through this. We're looking at 96. That's where the dollar seems to go, okay? Based on the weekly chart, that's what it seems to be saying. We should get through this level, right, and get up there, okay? Let's see how that plays out. Take a look at the 240 chart, because this is the level that we need to break out of first. And here's our 240 chart. Actually, let's go to daily first. The daily is at this level that we turned around off of before. We've hit the demand down here. Last week I told you expect the rally. There's the rally. We're at the supply zone, and I think this level pops. Okay, and there's a level that we obviously need to break. 96 will be up here. This is the supply zone up here that I'm talking about, which means this is the top that doesn't hold because we'll have higher lows, and we go through there. Right? That's what we're looking for. Okay. I think the dollar's going to get that kick from FOMC. It's going to get that kick from the tax bill that'll probably be wrapped up this week. It's already passed both houses, and they're just ironing out. The details are in there. But once it's finalized, we'll get a nice pop. Plus the fact that we have Christmas going on, and everyone's expecting this to get strong. So nice and strong dollar, and boom, boom, boom. We end up somewhere up here. We test the 200 average, I think, right around 96. Up there someplace is where we're going to look at, which means we have to break this supply in order to get through this. This will get broken because of the lower high, but this supply zone has the actually chance to push us backwards a little bit. And if you look at the chart, after I erased my little drawings there, you'll sort of see like, this. Right? So there is this little head and shoulders thing forming over here, right? This is here, and this is here, and this is the head, and shoulders here, and maybe this is the other shoulder. So does it need to do this first before it gets up there? That's the question. I don't really think it's going to. Personally, I think we're just going to bang around maybe a little bit, one a day or two, and hang around somewhere in this range, and then we're going to just pop out of the top. I think that's what we should expect. As we get closer to FOMC, that'll give legs to the dollar. So, but this level gives way, right over here, and then we'll be able to make our new highs. You can see there's demand right under us on the 240. That's why I sort of think we don't really going to go too far backwards. We're not coming all the way back down to here. Right, that daily head and shoulders will have to get us all the way back down to here, and then maybe break down, and nice strong demand right there. So we're just going to chop through this crap over here, and we'll be up and through the top soon. And that's the hypothesis here, and that's what we're looking at for the next couple of days. So a little bit of stair-stepping type of thing to the upside for dollar. Okay, but the target is above these prior highs in the pivot. Hi, Liza. How are you, dear? Go ahead. You have a question?
Hey, Joe.
What's up?
So if we start, if on the daily chart, of the dollar, if it starts looking like a head and shoulders, like you've mentioned earlier, why do you not think it's going to turn around and head lower instead of just a slight bit of resistance before it heads higher?
Right here. This is why.
Why?
You don't see that we're looking at my screen?
Yes, I'm looking at your screen.
Okay, so you see this demand sitting right under us right here?
Yes.
So that's just right here.
Ah.
Okay. So I don't think we're going to do much, we're not going to get all the way back down here because that would require us to get all the way down here. And gapping here, there's demand all over the place. So I don't think that's going to happen. A little push around, chopping around in this area before 93 and change in this thing, yeah, that's very possible. But we're going to pop through that, okay, this week. So that gets us above here, and then we have these higher lows in place, and we get through the supply zone, and it's all over. I think after that, we're looking for 96. So that's the reason I think we're not going back down here. We would have to get through this and this and this.
Oh, okay. Layers of demand.
Interest rates are going up this week, right? They're going to announce that, and the tax bill is going to pass, and that's going to give strength to the dollar. And it doesn't make sense to say that we're going down.
Okay, so it's more because of the demand on the charts plus the fundamentals behind what's happening behind the scene. Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem, darling. Next. Okay. What's that for the dollar? So let's take a look at gold. Somebody is really happy about this, right? So gold finally breaks down after we talked about this for a couple of weeks, I guess, I don't know. But we take out all the lows down there, and we get all the way to the bottom of the band, to the zone of the demand on the weekly chart. We actually pierce it a little bit, and we sort of wick out right on the weekly Bollinger Bands where we start to bounce a little bit, okay? I think what we're going to see is a bull trap, which means we're sort of going to build a bottom here, and we're going to start to rally a little bit, and then we're going to get kicked in the head, and we're going to end up at 1220 something. That's what I'm seeing here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to get a bounce out of the level that we're in because this is the band that we have not touched in, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months, I don't know. Damn fresh. First time we're here since August. It's actually mid-July. And so we should start to see a bounce out of this thing. I think we're going to get that, and then we're going to get this. And we're going to end up somewhere over here. And that will be the last, before we just, get through the top after that. But that's what I think is going to happen here. Gold doesn't look good at all. Usually, when you have such a prolonged period of choppiness, you will get a violent move. This is just not violent enough yet. So I think we get a back test, somewhere here, maybe this level or this level. We'll have to figure out as we get up there. And then a big rollover. So that's a bigger picture, assessment. So that means basically for this week, we should be looking for the bounce. Okay. How far the bounce goes, probably just around, I would say, I'd be, up to about 65-ish. Something like that. So about $20 bounce, about half of this last week, is something we could be looking for. Again, the dollar's strength is going to hurt gold, right? So take a look here. Right into the lows around here is where I would say we're going to see a bounce. We've hit the demand. I think I sent out that tweet, right, for that level. It's all the way back here, and it's fresh and beautiful little demand zone. And we touch it, and we don't get anywhere near bottom of the zone, that's for sure. We just touch it and come right out of that thing, and we start building this little bottom here. I'll show it to you on the lower time frames, but it looks like it wants to hold. There is really not much here on the 240, so if this does hold, we have a bunch of air, and that's what I'm talking about. We bounce out of this thing, and we sort of come back here, and then we get the next leg down where we break this thing and end up in there at 1220 something. So let's go look at that little bottom that's being formed over there and see if it's something we can trade. Well, here's the 60, and it's not looking strong enough just yet to do anything here. there's our little wick down, and you'll see that not really anything at all, right? We have this little wick into the level down there. For the longs to start, I would say I want this gone. So that's a problem because, you know, we have crap here. It can really start anywhere. So it has to actually give me some kind of higher low, and then I don't really have a lot of room yet. You know what I mean? So I'm more inclined to say wait for the short over here because the bottom on the 60 on the gold chart doesn't look like a bottom at all yet. It looks like shit. It looks like a flag. So, you know, I would be waiting for the short better than taking the long out of the bottom. Trend is down anyway. So scratch that idea. The chart doesn't look strong enough to take the long at all. And look for the shorts somewhere in this range up here. When we get up there, that's where we're going to find it. Okay. If it gets down into the demand zone, lower down, we might think about taking a long. But right now, this is just going nowhere. There was a little wick down here. The little stop out move. If, and it's an if, I don't know, but if it pushes down and doesn't take out the wick and then turns around somewhere over here, that will give us an opportunity to try and take the longs. Okay, and that's this type of thing, right? Something like that, where we get a hold of the level over here, then we could take a long. Otherwise, I'd be waiting up here for the shorts. Okay, that's the better trade. So right now it's sitting around, just hanging around doing nothing. So it's going to start on a little time frame. If you're going to take a long, it's not, you're going to have to wait for some kind of higher low first. There's nothing here at all. It's all garbage. But that's the idea. So either shorts up here around the 65, 66, 67 range inside this mess, or if it pushes down and doesn't break the bottom and starts to rally over there, we can start to take a long down there, right up into that level. 60, 62, 63 for a target on the upside. Okay? Anybody have a question for gold? No questions. Okay, moving on. Euro looks terrible. So, weakness creeping onto the Euro chart. There's our lower high in the week. Lower highs make lower lows, which means on the weekly chart, we're going here. Okay, and that's it. So the shorts are in. They're working really nicely for you guys that took them from last week. They're still running. I would say stay on the short. If you're in it for a swing, you should stay there. Don't touch it. You're getting to 114 and change, or somewhere right around the top of these wicks is what I would be aiming for. The target if you're short. Okay. If you're not, well, let's go find a place to get short. There's demand on the daily chart, right? And this is now a lower high. And, well, this demand is half decent, but it didn't really make new highs, right? So we should get some reaction. And then this, taking at the bottom. That's what's next. So somewhere around here, around 119, we should be able to find some kind of supply zone. Even on a lower time frame, there's something even lower down, but I'll show them to you as we go. But we're looking for shorts. Euro target is down here underneath this low. Lower high makes lower lows. And therefore, we should be looking for something in this range before we get, the next pop for euro. That makes sense. We're expecting strength for the dollar. So, yeah, euro should be getting hammered. I believe there's a Draghi thing going on this week. I'm not sure if it's Tuesday or Wednesday, but he's definitely speaking. I think it's Tuesday. Let me just look at the lower time frame, Niranjan, and then I'll take your question. So here's the euro on the lower time frame, and we've hit our demand over here. So there's a supply zone right there. There's one here. This is the 19 that I'm talking about, this little gap area. So that's the daily level up here. Otherwise, I think there's actually a really nice little doji right at 1800 on the 15, if I'm not mistaken. There's something right here. So I'm going to go down to the 15-minute chart and show it to you. I don't know how far this bounce is going to come. We're getting a little bounce off of the demand. I'm expecting another leg down. You can see there's sort of like a trend line going on here. It's actually the 60 moving average. You can see it looks like the trend line. It just keeps making these lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows. And what we're looking for really is an opportunity to join the short. So let's go find that little level I was talking about. I think I saw it this morning. Yeah, there it is. Take a looky. So that's one spot. A couple of levels of supply we can try. This one looks really nice. It's pretty close. We should be getting up there. Right, so if we shoot right into that zone, I wouldn't mind trying that. There's some supply here, obviously, and here. Okay. And, then we get to the gap area up there after that. But I don't think we're getting beyond this one. Shouldn't be too much strength left in the euro at this point. So we're looking for this to roll over again, and a new low is coming. Okay. Ranjan, go ahead, buddy. What's going on?
And hey, Joe, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Yeah, if you go back to the daily chart on the euro, I understand that it made a lower high with respect to the September highs, but with respect to the October highs, it made a higher high, right? With respect to the 9 those. So how would you? I mean, it's a little ambiguous.
No, I'll tell you. This was like a little head and shoulders over here. Right? If you remember, I think you were asking me about this when we had this on the chart.
Right, head and shoulders. Right,
over here. And then we just completed the formation. So we pushed down, right? We finished the breakdown here down to here, and now we're just rallying up. So we ignore this level here. That was the shoulder, and we hit supply.
Okay.
And now we're going to break down under here. This is what we're looking for. Right? That's what should be coming next. Right? This piece.
I see.
Over here.
I
right?
see. Okay.
So because this is a fresh demand zone, we should get a little pop.
Right.
And then we break down and we complete the rest of the formation on the other side. Right? So we're looking for this, right, to come out over here, 114.
I see. Yeah, I was looking at the October highs, and I was reading it as
Yep. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. A little bounce out of this, and then we get this piece that's missing.
Got it.
Got it?
Got it. Cool. Thank you.
Cool. No problem. David. Go ahead, Dave. Your mic's on, David. Do you have a question? Oh, we're not hearing you, David. Okay. Yeah, your mic is on. Go ahead. All right. Your mic's not working, so you raise your hand when you get it fixed. Okay. Moving on. I'm going to try again. Let's try again. Go ahead, David. Mic's on again. You're having mic issues. You can type your question and I'll try to respond to you. But nobody's hearing you. Yeah. Next. Okay. That's the euro we just did. Let's take a look at the yen. So here's our yen. On the weekly chart, we've hit supply 2 weeks back, and we get a continuation this week. And it doesn't look like it's ready to stop yet, if you ask me. This looks like we're going to continue to sell off, and at this point, we should be making a new low, actually. We should be taking out this level for the same reason that I'm saying it on the euro. We should be saying it on the yen as well. The indexes look like they're going to make all-time highs, and the dollar's going to rally, so the yen has really got nothing to rally for. It's just going to sell off, and looking like we're ready to pull back further. Okay, so this thing is not going to stop here, and we should get through that and down into this thing. Okay, so we're going to take out the bottom here and push down into here. Gold, right, has already taken out that bottom down here. So the yen is a little bit slower. Gold was weaker this week, but we're going to do that. And for yen, it looks like I would stay short. If you're short or you're not short yet, look for maybe a little bounce out of this area. Again, we're having a lower high over here, and we're rolling over. It makes lower lows, so that's the next demand zone, and therefore that's what we're looking for. Okay. So the yen is not looking good at all. On the lower time frame, we've sort of put a little bottom of the middle there, so that's the entrance for our supply zone. If we're going to look for a short, it's going to be in this thing. Somewhere up here around 88.5, the average should be in there by the time we get there, right? And that'll give us that next leg down. So that looks like a nice level to try for a short right in here. Okay. Looks good. Looks good. All right, that's the yen. So we're looking for shorts and new daily lows after that. Okay? Anybody have a question for yen? You can raise your hand. Otherwise, I want to start to get into soy, nat gas. I think BP and Canadian we're going to do. Actually, copper also looks really good. Finally setting up for something. So, I don't know. We'll see what the time is going. How are we doing? Tim, 36. Okay, yeah, we have time. Keep going. So soy totally blew me up this week. Got it totally wrong. Blew that one. I mean, it was looking like it was ready to pop. We were getting above the trend line, and then I don't know what the hell. It just hit some new highs and just collapsed after that. And looking now like it, it's having a lot of resistance up there, and not ready yet. At least from the higher time frame, I sort of adjusted my channel on the daily chart there, based on what's going on up here. I sort of raised a little bit at the top there, and sort of redrew the bottom. And it looks like we're getting close to this here. I think we're going. I think if you're asking me, are we rallying through the top? I believe we are, but it's just not ready. Right now. It was ready, last week. It just couldn't get there. It got above the highs, and then it just crashed into the wall. I believe we have USDA this week. I think it's this week. What's the date? It is this week. So be careful with that. You better make sure you know what the story is. Don't be in a trade when the supply demand is coming out. You better report is coming out. You better make sure that you're not in a trade. Okay. So right now we're banging around over here, and we've landed in some demand. And you can see we actually have a downtrend going on the 60. And we'll see if this little demand zone over here is able to get us, back to the top. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I don't see a great trade for soy. You can see the only thing I do see for now is like a shorter term trade. There's a very nice bottom right over here with the higher low and some air here. So, back to somewhere around here, that's an easy trade, depending on what it looks like. But I think we're going to have an issue right inside this spot. And we may have to test lower. So just be careful. If you're going to take a longs in soy, I would say it's only up to here. That's it. Okay. Next. This one is so ready. So ready. Okay. This is looking like it's done. It's going to pass away. This is going to pull down over here. We sold off, and we're landing inside this monthly demand zone over here. Okay, and it looks to me like we may have a little bit left, but we're just ready to just explode out of here. I know it looks crazy, but that's the way nat gas trades. It's just brutal. Okay, it's gotten below the wick back here. It's come into demand that we have not touched again since like August, and it's starting to pause around a little bit, right? And there's a lot of air up here. I wouldn't be surprised if we gap up again this Sunday night, tomorrow night. Nat gas is looking to me like it's really just overshooting. It's no reason for it to get that far down, and it just totally collapsed. And I think that's just like a capitulation move. They're done. They're stopping everybody out, and now we're looking for the rallies to start. So the trade would be, wait for this level or short end this level, and then look for a higher low. Once that comes on the chart, you get that higher low, it's time to buy. Okay. So for now, you can take the short in here. We're still trend down. If we gap up into the supply zone, I would probably just leave it alone until tomorrow, and look for the long down inside the gap. We'll probably sell off in the morning and then start to hold this thing, and I think that would give us what we're looking for. And I'm looking for longs, believe it or not. I know it sounds crazy, but if you trade nat gas long enough, you know that that's what you should be looking for over here. All right. So no shorts at this point. We're way overstretched, and this is a really strong level down here. Okay, that we're getting down into underneath all this crap. We haven't been here since back in whatever this is, February, almost a year ago's price. So if we do get a drop lower, it's just like maybe they're trying to shoot this people. I think actually we got under here already, right? So it's time to buy. Okay, so just wait for it to show you the bottom, and then we're going to get long. Okay, it's a swing trade. George has a question. Yeah, George.
Hey, Joe, you can see it on the monthly, but if you can expand your weekly chart and then look at those lows in the weekly, literally it's to the tick.
Back here.
Exactly.
Yeah, the low down here is to the tick, 53, 753. Yeah, 747. Yeah, just a couple of ticks shy. Absolutely. So yeah, I agree. I think we're just stopping people out under here, and we're just going to do this. I think that's what's coming, and I think it's going to be a rapid ascent, really strong, because this was a very strong sell-off. There shouldn't be really much supply in there. It was just boom, 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 2-3 days in a row, right down. I think we just turn around. We're going to see like twin towers over here next week, big ass ones. And then we end up taking out the top. I think that's what I would be looking for. And the way into the trade, the safest way is when we hit that 60 level I just showed you. Just wait for the 60 level to give it a little pullback and then a higher low. When you see that, you can buy long, put your stop underneath it, and just sit back and let this thing go. Because when it wants to run, it's going to run this thing right here. Okay, that's the level that we have to get through. Okay, so once we clear that thing, which is why we push down and we hold the level somewhere over here, buy. Okay, that's the plan.
You don't think we'll get down to the 2546 level, Joe?
I don't think so. I mean, unless the gap's down tonight. If it does do that, it gives you a gap down, I would probably buy that thing, to be honest with you. This is a swing trade again, so you got to be a little more patient with that kind of thing. But if it gaps down under here and you end up inside the zone, you know what I mean, that you're saying down here, that's just about a gift, I would think, for a long. Okay, so keep your eye on that gas. It's really volatile Sunday night, so just watch out. But the plan is long. How we get into the trade will depend on what happens, as it opens up this week. But I'll send out some alerts as we get ready this week for a long. If it shows up, I'll let you know. Okay. All right. Next. So that's nat gas. And Aussie is looking like it's getting ready to turn around too, but maybe a little more weakness. It got down into some strong demand underneath us, and it reached our level that we were looking for. And now we are waiting to see if it's going to turn around or not out here. Right? It took out the bottoms of this daily stuff after we rolled over from the supply zone. We get down into the lows, get an ugly looking reversal. But now this is really fresh demand area down here, so there is a little bit more room underneath us, like we can reach, something inside here on the 240-60 level down inside here. But I think Aussie is setting up for a really strong rally. It's looking very weak right now, but as it, makes that lows down there, we're just pushing back. Remember that we broke out on the monthly chart, remember? Out of this long-term range over here. This is the first supply zone. So as long as we don't break down out of this level, anything over here is just going to make a higher low and open up this move for us, back up here. So you just got to hold on to this demand zone. This is the one that can't break. That's the pivot that started this thing. So anything before that will be that higher low I'm talking about, right? Which is about where we are, almost there. Maybe these dojis, right around here. We're sort of in the level, and once it starts holding, I think it's going to be a very strong push up for Aussie dollar. It isn't ready yet. It still has maybe a day or two left, maybe a little bit more. As the dollar still goes, gets stronger, the Aussie's still going to have a little bit of weakness, but at the end of the day, I think the Aussie is sort of getting exhausted as far as the shorts are concerned. It's been going on now for almost 2 months, from September back there off the highs, right? And it should be getting to the end of this little pushback here. We got actually 1, 2, 3, like 4 months of down so far, so. It's done. It's time for it to start holding itself. Not that I'm getting into a trade yet, but it's time to start thinking about getting into a trade. I don't see it setting up yet, but just keep that in the back of your mind that you don't really want to be short here anymore. At this point, I would not be getting short Aussie dollars down here. You know what I mean? So start thinking about potential for a chance to take a ride up. If you look, we've already hit the supply zone, and we're sort of double bottoming over here, right? And this starts getting up. That means, something like that. So think about, potentially taking some longs from way, 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 way down. But, I don't see it set up just yet, but it's definitely not a place to be selling anymore. That much we know. Okay? So that's it for Aussie. I don't really see anything great there. Let's see what the pounds are looking like. Okay, this I happen to like for a short. Okay, we had a nice little run up. We put in a pair of twins on the weekly chart, and now I think we're going to turn this into a lower high, and maybe back down to something like around here. For the pounds, you can see this little trend that we had going on up there. I think we pulled back, somewhere into this level, 13.2 and change. So we started rolling over the lower high. We're coming back to the zone. This thing shouldn't hold anymore. We should break out under it. And I'm looking for a short for pounds. Okay. Yeah, there's a nice little trend line up there. Supply sitting right here. There's a bunch of air underneath us. You see this? On the 60 chart, we've got tons of room. So any little supply zone like this would be really nice. There's air totally underneath this wick. So if it gives us a little shot, right here, this area, I would take a short there. That room all the way down to here. And this level we're expecting to break based on the dailies. So there's room to the downside. So we're looking for shorts for sure. For pounds, either here, in this area over here, looking for shorts. Okay, anybody have a question for that? All right, good. Canadian, and then copper, and then we're calling it a day. So here is Canadian on the weekly chart. We had a really wicked reversal. We had a nice strong move last week. We got to the daily supply, and then we had a really nice demand zone in the middle over here that we were expecting to hold, and unfortunately it did not hold. And not only didn't hold, it created a supply zone, and then the supply zone was tested, and now it looks like this is screwed. I think we're going to actually see a little bit more downside before we get a rally up. I'm not sure. Level. We have to wait and see. It made like a double bottom, and we got through the top of it, right? We hit here, and then we're back to the bottom again. So, in order for this to hold itself, it needs to stop right here. It can't go any further, right? Because there is no more demand. It's already hit this thing, and if it doesn't rally out of this area and create a higher low, there's nothing there. It means we're breaking down underneath us, which I think is probably what's going to happen for now. That we see a little bit more weakness in Canadian, and then a rally will start, but not yet. Looks like over here, that supply is sitting right there. So that's the level we're waiting for. We're downtrend on the 60 so far still, so I would not have a problem taking shorts here. Okay, we've made a new low back down here, and then if we just rally straight up, into the supply zone, we take a short and look for the lows, see what happens as we get back down there. If we're able to break the bottom, which I think we are, great. And if we're not, we'll have to exit, down here, but you've had a nice trade already. So the trade for now is short inside that supply for Canadian. Okay? And if, we get up there and then we don't break the bottom, so then we'll have to flip it around. But for now, short right here. Okay, that's that. And let's look at copper, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Okay, so copper looks to me ready to sort of make its move. Okay. It's breaking down out of this daily wedge, but it's flagging around over here, right? It is a bear flag totally, but it's sitting on top of this, right? Nice demand. It is demand that made the new high. So we have a lower high. Do we make a lower low in there, under there? Possibly. Do we get through the level? I don't think so. I think we're going to turn around out of this thing. So copper is looking to me like a potential for some kind of strong move up. Not yet, because this could land us here, but this is a buy. Okay, this is really nice, strong, fresh demand that was pushed us into the top. This is looking like, sort of like maybe a little fake out to the downside, and then we do something like this. Okay, we'll have to watch for a reversal on copper. I've been watching it all week, waiting for it to show me enough strength to get in. It has not happened yet. We've had dojis the whole time. If it lands in this zone, that's fresh demand zone outside the Bollinger Bands on the daily chart. That's something I would be willing to try. But until it shows me a bottom from this area, I can't buy long, which means down here I don't mind buying long. But where it's at right now, I don't want to buy long because it might end up down here. You know what I mean? So it has to show me it wants to rally out of here before I start buying in the area that it's at, and the area on the lower time frame, which is not showing the bottom yet. So it's not ready as far as where it's located, but it is sitting at a spot where if it pushes lower, I'd be interested, right? So this is what I mean when I'm saying I'm waiting all week for it to show me. You can see that the whole week we're pretty much stuck in between the supply and the demand. Now we've gone no place at all, okay? So down here, I don't mind buying. Over here, what I want to see, obviously this level I don't think is going to hold anymore, is this level has to clear. And if that does, we'll have demand right here when it breaks out of this thing. And then we can buy this, right? Just back test, and then that. That's what we're looking for. So long underneath, or long after we clear the supply over here. That's what I'm looking for. The short here is more of like a day trade, like a quickie, depending on what looks like as we get through the zone. If there's room to make money or not, don't know yet, so I can't really say that. But, I'm looking for that long under here. That one would be a nice swing. Right? And then, or if we make a long, the higher low after taking out that level, that also would be a very nice swing. Copper should be rallying. I would be surprised next week if we're not back up here someplace. Okay. That's what we're talking about. Anybody have any questions before we wrap up our session? No? Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you next Sunday. Have a great trading week. Be careful. Don't forget about the FOMC on Wednesday. And everyone else, stay in touch. Ciao.